Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. It is so wonderful to have you with us every single day, and especially on this day, a special one, Monday Night Football. We have Jaguars hosting the Bengals. A couple of cats getting at it tonight. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, no matter where you're watching, no matter where you are. We are just so excited to be with you. We had such a wonderful Sunday yesterday. Should be a great show ahead of us today. NBA, NHL. Obviously, we also have some college basketball ahead of us as well. Getting into college basketball season. Really excited to talk about college basketball over the next few months. And tonight we have a good one with Purdue. We're going to talk about them in just a little bit. If you love our content, if you love the show, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We are live right now on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure no matter where you're watching, no matter the platform, that you hit the like button, you hit the follow button. We love the support that all of you guys show us every single day. We're so grateful for it. We want to make sure that others learn about the show. It's through your support that we grow one sports fan at a time. So if you haven't done so already, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with others. And of course, we still have more to get to. If you guys want any of the advice or research that we put out every single day, DM me on Instagram. We use Outlier. It's one of the research tools we use. If you guys are curious about how we come up with our bets, how we come up with our research, one of the tools we use is Outlier. It's a great sports research tool. Make sure you DM us on Instagram if you guys are interested in getting a free 7-day trial to Outlier, and that way you can do the research on your own and cash in on every single bet every single day with a little bit more knowledge than you did before. So excited to give out picks throughout the show. We have a ton of picks to give out. NFL, NBA, college basketball, and a little NHL as well. Only really one NHL game that I really want to give out. There are some games on the docket, but not too excited about it. Feel free to fire away with your questions. We're going to try some new things on the show as well. If you want to come on as a guest, more than welcome to. We're going to have guests on. I'm going to try something new for those watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We have our speaker, so you should be able to hear guests a little bit better on the show. So hopefully we're able to do a lot of cool things throughout the course of the show. Nick, to those who listened to me yesterday about Nico Collins going crazy, yep, things went very well for us. User 7631, AJ Ayuk for Devontae, Rachaad White, and Nico Collins. Great question. I'd rather have Devontae, Rachaad White, and Nico Collins, believe it or not. Luperio, is Eckler worth a start anymore? It's always going to be week-to-week matchups. Yesterday, not surprised that he had a worse start, given that the Belichick defense was going to be able to focus on him. By the way, guys, no need to spam. If you guys spam, I'm going to have to mute you guys. Please don't spam. Don't do that. Please don't spam. Like Tyler Miles, I'm going to answer your question, but please don't spam. Keegan, which two should I roster? Mitchell, Godwin, Chuba Hubbard, Hyatt, Zeke, or Dotson? I'd go with Mitchell and Godwin. I know Zeke has value now that Ramondre Stevenson is out, but that said, I'm still a little bit worried about him overall because the Patriots offense is so bad. Cody, so glad I started Achan. Very happy about it. Glad we could give you some good advice. Halliburton over 3.5 3-pointers. Let's get into it. Yo boy Alex, we'll answer your question in just a minute. But first, let's do some research on Outlier to help you guys out. The question is about Halliburton. 3.5 3-pointers. Let's take a look at it. Jumping on over to the NBA. Again, Outlier is a research tool that we use every day to find good data and analytics behind our bets. If you guys want a free 7-day trial to Outlier, make sure you DM us on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. Looking at the 3-pointers, it's set right now at 3.5, and the over has the stronger implied probability on Outlier. Now, Outlier has its own algorithm. I'm not necessarily going to always agree with it, but it's usually baked into some of the same variables that we study. Over the last 10 games, this is cashed 6 times. Over the last 20 games, it struggled a little bit more, but that's still taking into account some of last year's games. Head-to-head against the Celtics, 3 out of the last 5, but it's missed the last 2. Let's dive into this specifically at home. Against the Celtics, 1-for-1. Over the last 20, really not a good trend. Over the last 10, 4 out of 10 over the last 10 games. I'm not crazy about it. I know it's cashed. The problem is they give up a lot of three-pointers to point guards. So clearly, K-Veeks, you found a really good play in terms of the matchup against the Celtics. I'm not going to bet it because that's the only trend that plays into it. Feel free to go with it, but personally, I'll probably avoid this play just because I like to have at least one or, at least two variables, really, I should say. I should like to have at least 2 or 3 variables on my side, and right now I only see one. So that said, I understand why you're looking at it, but I'm not going to put my money down on it. Again, if you guys want any sports betting research or fantasy football advice, here for it over the next hour plus. Steve, I'm up 20. Opponent has Etienne and Lawrence. I have Chase. Do I win? No, I don't think so. I actually think you're going to end up losing, but it's going to be close. It really depends whether Etienne has a monster night. You have a chance. You certainly have a chance. I'm not going to make it sound like you don't. Spencer, I traded Amari Cooper and Mostert for Devontae 2 weeks ago. I mean, I wouldn't have traded Mostert. I valued Mostert over all 3 names mentioned in that one. So, John Tosh, do you think it's possible for Christian Kirk to drop 21 points today? Is it possible? Yes. Will it happen? No. Jason, should I drop Goff or Russell Wilson? I have Mahomes too. No, I'd rather have Goff. Goff is a player I'd rather have down the stretch of the year. Drop Hollywood Brown for JSN to handcuff DK. That's not a terrible idea. Jason, that JSN idea is one I can endorse. Dropping Goff to pick up Russell Wilson, that's not one I would. Yo, boy, Alex, I'm down 16 and my opponent has the Jags kicker. I only have Ridley left. What are the odds of winning it? The problem is Brandon McManus, I think, is going to have a good game, so I think you're in a bad spot there. Guys, every time we hit 2,000 likes tonight, we are going to give out a pick, and every time we hit our live goal, we're going to give out a pick, as in every time we get one of our live goals. I know it's an ambitious one, so we'll give out picks throughout the show. Hope you guys tailed us yesterday. It was a very successful day for a lot of us across the sports betting community, and that's actually something I wanted to talk to you guys about really quickly. I know a lot of you guys out there probably are hearing on social media or on Twitter, all these other places, about people who had big days yesterday. I did as well. I'm very proud of it, but I don't want to act like I'm in the lone, minority on this one. Yesterday was a really good day for the public. Be mindful of that. A lot of people are going to kind of tout how they did. Be wary, because a lot of people did well yesterday and they don't always do the kind of research and put in the kind of effort that we do. So just be careful the day after so many public people had success, that you kind of be mindful of the fact that not everyone is kind of having that kind of day week to week like we do. Brent, thoughts on Chase tonight? I'm up 16 and have the Jags defense, but opponent has Chase. I think Chase could have a pretty good game, actually, but I think you're going to be in the clear with 16 points and the defense ahead. So I think you're in a good spot, Brent. I don't think you have to worry too much. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, 2,000 likes is going to be where we give out our first pick of the night. Again, if you want every bet that I make every day, you can find them on the SHARPZ app. DM me on Instagram to get access to my picks on the SHARPZ app. How do I feel about Zeke? Aiden, I think he's a good pickup moving forward off the waiver wire with Ramondre out. If you don't have anybody, especially for this Thursday, I actually think the Thursday game fits perfectly for a lot of you who need a running back off the waiver wire. Zeke is absolutely somebody I would consider. Zach, down 30, I have Etienne and McManus. Do I win? You have an outside chance. It's close. It's not great, Zach, but I actually think you do have an outside chance of getting that dub. Tom, best anytime touchdown prop? Probably, if I just had to give one out, this isn't one I'm going to put up on my big board, but Travis Etienne is obviously a phenomenally, safe play for the most part. He'd be one that comes up right away. I'll give out a player prop bet for a touchdown that I like a little bit later in the show. We have hit 2,000 likes. Because we have hit 2,000 likes, we are going to give out a free pick for everybody. Now, all of our picks are based on trends, data, analytics. Want to make sure you guys know these aren't picks just because I like a certain player. They're on my fantasy team. This is all research that we've done throughout the day to give you guys the best possible picks that we can find throughout the sports world. First pick that I'm going to give out is going to be an easy one. You guys are going to love it. It's just going to be Jaguars on the money line. We're going to give out picks throughout the show, so don't worry. We got a ton to give out. But first pick that I'm going to give out today is going to be the Jaguars on the money line. Just taking it obvious. I've had it throughout the week. But I will say we're going in a different direction in the spread. We'll get to that at 4,000 likes. We have a ton of picks to give out, so don't worry, guys. We're just taking it one by one, having a lot of fun throughout the course of the show. Jason, so I lost Tank Dell. Who do you think will be a good pickup? Noah Brown. Noah Brown of the Texans should be a good pickup. JP's asking for a rant. Thoughts on the Packers? Do you think they'll make the playoffs? Well, that's a really interesting one for me because right now, Jordan Love is starting to make that kind of maturation turn. You know, he's starting to develop the arc, as we would say, in kind of entertainment. He's making that kind of development. And what I like to see as well is the team around him is playing better. Christian Watson is playing better. A.J. Dillon played better than I expected last night. So I'm happy to see that and by the way, Packers defense is finally playing a little bit better. So overall, I am on the kind of buy side of the Packers. Here's where I'm hesitant. Jordan Love, I haven't seen him yet when he's got a big head. I've seen him when everyone's putting him down, when everyone's saying he's not the next Favre Rodgers, when he's not as good as some of the other rookies drafted around him that year or in years since he came into the league. I haven't seen him when we hype him up. And it's always interesting to see young quarterbacks, when they get hyped up, how do they perform? This is going to be the first week for me where I'm really going to get a sense of, is he someone who keeps the same tendencies, the same humility? We saw it with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud's the same player. Whether we're putting him down and saying he can't take tests, or whether we're hyping him up and saying he's an MVP candidate, we're starting to see that C.J. Stroud has a very consistent floor. Maybe his ceiling could be even greater, but his floor, consistent. What's Jordan Love? I haven't seen it yet. When we put him down, he's erratic. When we hype him up, does he continue to make these kinds of progressional steps? We'll have to see. So I like what I'm seeing from the Packers, but I'm still not sold. Some people are going to say they're a playoff team. Their schedule's favorable, and maybe that's the best thing that they have going for them. But overall, I'm not quite there yet as much as everyone wants me to be on this Overreaction Monday. Let's get back to some of your fantasy questions and sports betting questions. Hi, I'm Toby. Tied in my matchup, I have Kirk. He has McPherson. No way I lose, right? There absolutely is a way you could lose. Hi, I'm Toby. I never want you to think that the sports gods can ever just avoid being crazy. So yeah, there is, but I think you're in a safe spot. I will say that. Darren, Mostert and Ridley for Gibbs. I'd rather have Mostert and Ridley. Darren, I'd rather have Mostert and Ridley, and it's not close. Simon, Christian Kirk over 50.5 yards. Let's throw that one up on the big board. Appreciate you guys tapping the screen, hitting that like button. We're going to give out another pick for all of you guys. We're giving out picks every 2,000 likes on TikTok. This one, I'm going to give out 2 picks. I want to say thank you for hitting that like button. First one, I said I'd give out the spread play that I like. I'm taking the Bengals plus 14.5 tonight. I know that's a very big spread, but it's available actually at a pretty good price. So Bengals plus 14.5. I think they do cover the 2 touchdown spread there. So I'm just playing it pretty safe. Jaguars money line, Bengals plus 14.5. As for a player prop bet, we were just asked about it. I took Christian Kirk at over 49.5 receiving yards. Also, if you wanted to take it at over 50.5, do I think you're going to be okay? Yes, I do. So, am I worried about the over 49 versus the over 50 versus the over 50 and 51.5? No, I'm not. I think you're going to be okay. So those are a couple of picks that we're giving out. When we hit 6,000 likes, we'll give out another pick. Want to make sure we're giving you guys plenty to keep you guys excited about this Monday Night Football game between the Jaguars and the Bengals, given everything else. Majomes, thanks so much for the mic check. Appreciate it, Majomes. We have to give out another pick because of that, but I'll answer a few more questions before we do. Oh, thoughts on potentially starting Jordan Love over Lamar in Week 14. Really quick looking at Week 14, the Baltimore Ravens, they host... Oh, why did it go back to that? So, the Baltimore Ravens host the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Green Bay Packers, they go to New York to play the Giants. I do like that Jordan Love matchup, but here's a word of caution. Eli Manning, Geno Smith, plenty of quarterbacks from the past at MetLife Stadium will warn you, this time of year at MetLife, the winds can get a little crazy there. So, do I like Jordan Love at New York? Yes, because of the matchup. Do I need to check the weather report before I actually put him into the lineup? Absolutely. I actually like Lamar Jackson against the Rams enough where I'd probably go with him anyways. But Jordan Love against the Giants is an interesting one. Appreciate all of you guys watching, no matter the platform, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. It is so wonderful to have you guys with us. We are giving out sports betting advice. We're giving out fantasy football advice. We're obviously ranting about what we saw yesterday in the sports world. And of course, we're going to answer as many questions as we can throughout the show. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you guys love the show, make sure you hit that follow button and make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. Let's give out another pick to say thank you to Majomes for hooking us up with that live goal gift. We're going to give out, let's go to the NBA on this one. Only 2 NBA games tonight. In-season tournament goes to the knockout round. First pick that I'm going to give out related to it is the Celtics on the money line. Feels like a very safe bet. This Celtics team wants to win everything it can this year, so I think they're certainly going to take this in-season tournament seriously, and they know the Pacers are a dangerous team. I don't think Boston's going to go into Indiana and be overly confident. I think they understand that they need to be aggressive, especially defensively. I like the Celtics on the money line in that one. That's the pick we're giving out. We have hit 6,000 likes, so we're going to give out another pick related to that game. It's going to be a player prop bet in this one. It's Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm taking the under on 10.5 assists here. We talked about him on hitting a three-pointer. I wasn't crazy about the three-pointer play. I know it's a good matchup against the Celtics, but hasn't been a consistent one. What has been consistent is his assists. Where he has struggled is against the Celtics in this. Celtics are very good at preventing point guard assists. I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton under 10.5 assists. Put that one up on the big board. There you go. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, it's up on the screen. You can see it right now. T-Fam up by 41 versus Ridley, Kirk, and Etienne. Do I win? I don't think so. I actually think you could end up losing. It's going to be close. Each us down by 30 with Chase, Kirk, Ingram. Do I have a hope? Absolutely you do. Absolutely you do. Toby, Tank Dell's injury is devastating. How will my wide receiver core do in the playoffs? Waddle, Olave, and Rice. I think you're okay, Toby. You think it's time to drop Eckler? No, Nuve DK. I wouldn't drop Eckler. The only people who are considering dropping Eckler are in 6, 8-team leagues. You know, someone who has the luxury of having really good running backs on the waiver wire. I just don't think there are that many RB1s on the waiver wire, and he is an RB1. NFL guy, I'm up by 40 playing against Chase and Ingram tonight. Should I be worried? I don't think so. I think you're going to be okay. If you had said 30, I would have been worried. 40, I think you're all right. AJ, Achan, safe RB rest of season. AJ, you know, I'll always say week-to-week matchup, but I do think he's a solid start for now. Ryan, should I drop KC defense for Deontay Johnson? Looking at the Week 14 matchups, Pittsburgh Steelers against the Patriots with Mitch Trubisky starting. I'm not crazy about it. I understand the Chiefs defense didn't look great last night, and they play the Bills this week. So if you wanted to move on from KC, I get it. But don't expect Deontay Johnson to have a monster game. I think he might have a bit of trouble against the Patriots defense, especially on the short week with Mitch Trubisky. JP, thoughts on Ridley under 4.5 receptions? I thought the same. Wow, JP, I don't know if you already looked at my picks on Outlier, but that's one that I considered as well. I wasn't going to put it on my big board because I didn't have enough confidence in it to give it out to the rest of you. But in terms of a bet that I actually made today, it was Calvin Ridley under 4.5 receptions. It just seemed a little high to get to 5. Like I could see him getting 4. Yardage could go high. Touchdown could be there. 5 receptions, that felt a little high to me too, JP, especially with Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Etienne, Evan Ingram, everybody else just felt a tad high for me because the Bengals aren't a good enough defense where it's like, oh, they're going to take away Kirk, so he's going to have to overfeed Ridley. No, I think it's going to be pretty easy for Trevor Lawrence to distribute to everybody tonight. Sam, Brees Hall, and Ridley for Eckler and Devontae Adams. I'd rather have Eckler and Devontae Adams. Jason, when I pick up Brown, who should I start at wide receiver 2? Brown, Zay Jones, or Gabe Davis? I'd probably start Noah Brown, to be honest. I have to take a quick look at who Houston is playing next week. Oh, they're playing the New York Jets. Not a great matchup, and it's in New York. We just saw how tough that can be. Drake London is a prime example of it. Zay Jones' matchup next week, the Jaguars. They play the Browns. That's not great. It might be Gabe Davis, Jason, but we'll have to dive into it as we get into week 14. Lorenzo, which 2 for next week? I love how you guys are already focused on week 2. I will say I'm giving it a peruse. I'm not going to say that you guys should take this to the bank. Make sure you guys are with us throughout the week because I don't want to give you too much confidence on a Monday pick for a Sunday game. So much can change between now and then. So it's preliminary reactions. I don't want to focus too much of our time on that. Trades we'll focus on. Waiver wire we'll focus on. Bets we'll focus on. DFS for tonight. But if you're looking for who's going to start next week, I don't want to give you guys false hope. It might be a wrong decision. Matt, up 62. Thanks, Ranger. Appreciate it. We'll give out another pick to say thank you to Ranger for that. I will say, if any of you guys want to join us as a guest, we're more than happy to have you on. And we've got our speaker now, so the audio should be even better for everybody watching. So we'll give that a try at some point. Matt, up 62. He has Jamar, Etienne, Ingram, Jacksonville defense. Am I good? I think you're going to be sweating it. I actually think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a lot closer than you want it to be, Matt. I think you're okay, but I think you'll be sweating it. Let's give out a pick, and then Majomes will get to that rant. First, let's give out a pick to say thank you to Ranger for hooking us up with that live goal. And because we hit 8,000 likes, we'll drop a couple more picks for you guys. We're going back to the NBA tonight. Another NBA pick. Again, only 2 NBA games tonight. I'm taking the Kings on the money line. I think the Kings are going to advance against the Pelicans. So we're taking Kings on the money line. Giving out another player prop bet as well. This one is from that Kings-Pelicans game. I'm taking Zion Williamson over 4.5 assists. That's Zion Williamson over 4.5 assists. So we just gave out 2 plays for you guys. We just gave out 2 picks just now. Kings on the money line. Zion Williamson over 4.5 assists. If you're watching over on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can see them all up on the screen. If you're watching on TikTok, all you have to do is follow along or DM us on Instagram. That's Butt Sports on Instagram. DM us, and we share all of our picks with you guys every single day on the SHARPZ app. So all you got to do, DM us on Instagram to get every bet that we make every single day. Just like Carter Newman. Carter Newman hit us up for all of our picks, and he just got a link for him. So there you go, Carter Newman. Every bet that we make every single day, you've got access to it. Appreciate you watching the show. Appreciate you being a loyal viewer. By the way, we had Majomes wanted to rant about the refs last night. I was just astounded. I was astounded by how often the NBC referee analyst was saying that the referees got it wrong. You know, a former referee who's been hired by a TV network wants to say either the referees are right or wants to give them some cover, wants to explain how they may have missed it. The number of blatant misses there were last night, the number of swing and a miss by a mile. It was a Javi Baez swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt level of bad from the NFL referees last night. And I've reached a point of such frustration because if the NFL wants to introduce sports betting, if the NFL wants to endorse fantasy football, if the NFL wants us to believe that this is the best sport in the world, then how can you have such pathetically bad refereeing? And why is there nothing we can do about it? I actually think that the NBA gets it done better. I think the NBA with its 2 minute... The NBA gets a lot of things wrong with referees, but I think the NBA does it better. The MLB, as bad as I think MLB umpire strike zones are, what it takes to go through the leagues and channels, become an MLB umpire, it does challenge you. The only problem is there's a tenure, and that's what the MLB needs to get rid of. But the NFL right now is literally taking lawyers and putting them on an NFL field and expecting them to make good calls. It's not that simple. They should have a true development program and give these guys enough money for it to be a full-time job. I heard some nonsense on TV today on ESPN on the Pat McAfee show, not by Pat McAfee, but I believe it was by Adam Schefter or someone who came on and pretty much said, like, you know, the NFL has explored all these options with the referees. There's not much we can do. Obviously, the NFL wants it to be better, but, you know, how much money you're going to pay these guys to not have a full-time job? You know how many people would love a full-time job of being a referee and would dedicate themselves entirely to that profession? Hundreds of thousands. If not hundreds of thousands, fine, tens of thousands. That's all you need. I don't understand what the NFL is doing, like why they continue to fumble this issue. The NFL has billions of dollars invested in the sanctity of the league. And when I mean the sanctity of the league, I mean the purity, the belief that the league is not fixed, that the league is not doing things on a shady level. And if the NFL cannot get this referee issue cleared up, it is going to come back and bite them in the worst possible way. So for me, I just feel like the NFL, they've got to acknowledge that the problem is real. The problem is real. By the way, if any of you guys want to join the show, feel free to come on as a guest. Happy to have guests on the show tonight. I know a Monday night show with a game that's like, it's okay. If you guys want to come on, more than happy to have guests on the show who want to ask questions, want to rant about some things. More than happy to have people come on TikTok. All you have to do is join as a guest. I think you need 1,000 followers on TikTok to join, but more than happy to have anyone who wants to come on join. We are giving out picks throughout the show. When we hit 10,000 likes, we're going to give out our favorite bet of the night, everybody. Favorite bet of the night at 10,000 likes. Daniel P, betting on the NFL should be illegal if that is really the case. Daniel P, don't ban the NFL betting. We really like that. We did pretty well on it last night. The OG, anyway, Al Horford doesn't drop a triple-double tonight. The OG big fella, I love the belief in Al Horford. The problem is I have no beef with you tonight. Al Horford's going to have a monster game, I think. I could easily see him having a double-double. I don't know about the triple-double, but I certainly think he goes over his point total. I think that's a great play. Will the Jags receivers have over 50 yards? I think Christian Kirk will. But actually, there's something that kind of tells me that I should be worried about Calvin Ridley. There are always aspects of these games that we go, of course that's going to happen. It's like, that's a giant trap. So I'm a little bit worried about it. Daniel P, I got you. Now I see them. Now I got you. Adam Katzman, Saquon Ferguson Lockett for Bijan and Woods. I don't want Robert Woods. Saquon Ferguson Lockett. That's the side I want. You like the over in tonight's game? Juddy, I don't like the over in tonight's Monday Night Football game if I'm going in that direction. Guys, we all know that the over-under in prime time, that has been a great play going on the under. And I'm not betting the total. I'm not putting it on my board. But if I had to go in any direction, I lean towards the over. I buy some points and I take the under. Mando, you like Zeke going forward? Mando, I like him this week. I don't love him for the remainder of the season. Some people are going to hype you up on him. Patriots aren't that good as an offense. I like him for Thursday. I don't love him for the rest of the season. Simon, Christian Kirk over 50.5. I like that. We already have it up on the big board. It is one that I do like. Appreciate you guys being with us no matter the platform. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Hope you guys love the content that we put out. If you do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share the channel and make sure you follow us. That way you never miss a show. We are live every single day. There's not one day of 2023 we won't be live. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and that way you never miss a show. Again, we give out picks every single day. They're up on the big board right now if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Majomes, thanks so much for the mic check. We'll give out another pick in 1 second. 10, down by 12 with Chase. You think I'm good? I think you got a chance. I think there's a possibility. Appreciate us hitting our live goal. Got to see if that speaker actually works for us right now. Let's give out another pick for everybody. Another pick to say thank you for us hitting that live goal. We've got some confetti up in the air, so see how that goes. And let's give out another pick. Next pick that I'm going to give out for everybody, let's go back to this NFL Monday night game. Let's get Christian Kirk because I didn't spell his name correctly. Let's get another NFL player prop bet up on the board. This one I talked about a little bit earlier. I like Brandon McManus. I like him over 1.5 field goals made tonight. I think that's a very strong play for me. I understand that the Jaguars offense is expected to put up monster points, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have some drives that are either a short distance in order to drive, or they make a good drive of 50 yards, but they get stalled in field goal range. I'm going to take Brandon McManus over 1.5 field goals tonight. I feel very strongly about this one. I actually feel like it's a really good play, so I'm putting that one up on my board. We will give out, we just hit 10,000 likes, everybody. Appreciate all of you guys helping us out. It is time for the SHARPZ play of the day, everybody. The SHARPZ play of the day. That's our favorite bet, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, is our favorite play of the day. Let's get this one up on the board for everybody that's watching. This one I'm excited about because I don't know if you guys know, he's an up-and-coming star. It's in-season tournament. I'm expecting that the stars are going to show out. So I'm pretty pumped about this one because I think it means we're going to be really entertained tonight with a big performance from this guy. On my SHARPZ play of the day, I am taking Jason Tatum over 29.5 points. Ambitious? Yeah, it is. Don't care. I'm taking Jason Tatum over 29.5 points. I think he has a 30-point plus game against the Pacers tonight. Expecting a massive performance from Jason Tatum. I think there are a couple of different ways you could take him. You could probably also get him on over rebounds and rebounds plus points. I think that's probably a good overplay as well. But I think Jason Tatum gets to 30 points tonight. I'm taking the over 29.5 points as my SHARPZ play of the day, everybody. My SHARPZ play of the day is available every day on the show exclusively. So you can download the SHARPZ app and see every bet that we make, but only on our show can you see the SHARPZ play of the day. That is our favorite bet of the day. Went 2-0 yesterday. Let's see if we can go to 1-0 again today. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. That's the pick we just gave out. Jason Tatum over 29.5 points. Daniel P., any EPO picks later this week? None right now that I'm giving out, but I'll give out some later in the week. Cole Sizemore is asking about Ingram receiving yards and receptions. Great question. Let's jump on over to the Outlier app. Again, Outlier is the sports betting research tool that we use to find these best bets every single day. Evan Ingram, let's jump on board with this one. First, let's look at receptions. Over 4.5, really strong implied probability here, and it's because the matchup against the Bengals is fantastic. Bengals are 31st in receptions allowed to tight ends, so they're the second worst team in the league to this. You can see it's been a pretty good trend actually as well. Over 4.5 for Evan Ingram is a play that I really like. This one's actually going to end up on my big board as well. That's Evan Ingram over 4.5 receptions, another play that we like. Now, when it comes to receiving yards, how do we feel about this one? 49.5. Don't like it as much. As you can see, the under is actually the better implied probability on this. The over, that feels a little bit high. This one shot up, and it's the reason I don't like it. It opened at 41.5. It got as high as 48.5. Now it's up to 49.5. Just feels too high. Feel like I'm riding the wrong wave on this one. I understand the matchup is phenomenal against the Cincinnati Bengals, but you know what? I expect the receptions to be there. I expect the touchdown to be there. We'll get to that in a moment. But I don't love this enough. I feel like this play is a bit of a trap, given how the line movement is really working against me on this. So if you want to take it, you're really going heavy with the public. I'm going to avoid that one. Not a bet I like. Thanks for the question, Cole Sizemore. Robbie Robertson, is ETN playing tonight? As of last I heard, I want to make sure I get this right for you. Travis Etienne is expected to play, everybody. Travis Etienne is expected to play. JP, have a nice night. Have a great night, buddy. Appreciate you. Clark, I have a 3-point lead with Chase, and my opponent has Ingram. Thoughts? I feel like you might get beat tonight. Evan Ingram, I expect to have a big night. The question is, can Chase do enough? It's all about whether Chase can get a touchdown. I'd be nervous if I were you, Clark. Nuve DK, down 14 with Ingram left. My opponent has the Jags kicker. You think I can win? I don't think so. I think McManus will have a good enough night to actually put you out of your misery. How do you feel about Browning under 220 and a half pass yards? Be careful, everybody. Be careful. This guy can throw the football. He did at Washington. And the Jaguars' pass defense gives up a lot of passing yards. They're good against the run. They're bad against the pass. I would fade Mixon, but Browning props, I'd be careful about. I'd be wary. Reed Johnson, I do like Travis Etienne over 2.5 receptions. I saw it earlier. I liked it. I didn't like it enough to put it up on my big board, but Reed, it is one that I would be about. Not enough to put it up on my big board, but I do like it. Colston, I'm down by 6 and my opponent has no one. I have his Jags defense. Think I can win. Yes, I do think you can win because the Jaguars get a lot of turnovers, and I also think they'll get some sacks. Are you taking the under on ETN rush yards? Honestly, I'm not betting it. The ETN rush yards didn't get me excited at all. If we take a quick look over on Outlier on Travis Etienne rushing yards, wasn't one that really got me excited. I'll show it to you guys up on the screen. Rushing yards, 66.5. I understand that the Bengals are a god-awful run defense against running backs, 23rd in the league. That said, hasn't been a good trend. This just has been set higher that he really has hit. The teams that he's hit it against, Steelers, Buffalo, Texans, 2 of them were on the road, 1 of them at home. That was a division opponent. I just don't like this one. There's just nothing about this that gets me excited. I'm gonna avoid it. It's not that I don't like it. It's that there aren't enough variables that correlate that come together in the kind of constellation that I'm looking for. So I'd avoid it. EM, I do like an anytime touchdown. Let's get that one up on the board to say thank you to all of you guys for watching. As always, we are so grateful for all of you guys making the effort to tune in every single day. So let's give out another pick for you guys. I'm taking Evan Ingram to get a touchdown. Over half an anytime touchdown for Evan Ingram. Again, there may be some other safer plays. I think the matchup's really favorable. I'll take that. I will also take Travis Etienne. I am going to take Travis Etienne on this one. I think Travis Etienne does get a touchdown. So Travis Etienne over half an anytime touchdown. That's going to be another play that we put up on the board. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys if you do want every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram. That's Buttfumble Sports on Instagram. Make sure you DM me on Instagram, just like Reed Johnson. Reed, we were just talking on the air. Now here you go. I just sent you the link and the referral code. So Reed, you just got every bet that I make every day. If you guys want every bet, just DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you guys up with the link and the referral code so you see every bet I make every day, regardless of the sport and type of bet. Nuve DK, should I drop Singletary for Ford? Interesting idea. I don't love it, but at the same time, I do think Ford's the RB1 on his offense, where Singletary, I was disappointed that Dameon Pierce got slotted over him yesterday. I wanted Singletary to get that touchdown, but I don't think it's a bad idea, Nuve DK. What do you like about Outlier specifically compared to other platforms? Daniel P., what I really like, a couple of things. First of all, it allows me to actually discover the VIG and some of the other like inside sportsbook kind of numbers. I like to sort through some of those. I like to see where the sportsbook is kind of hyping up the number, trying to trap us. That's one thing that I look at. Also, it allows me to look at a lot of trends over time periods, all condensed at the same time. Here's a perfect example. If you were stock trading and you could see what a stock was looking like today, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago, what the prices were all in the same kind of one-line sheet, well, that's what Outlier does. And I think that's really helpful because you can see whether the consistency of that value is there, whether that value is overhyped based on recent performance. So what I love is it condenses a lot of data down to very quick, scannable, what would be cells in a spreadsheet. And I like that because that's how I use data anyways. I'm in spreadsheets. So Outlier does that, but it condenses all that data for me. It cleans it. It's like a super VLOOKUP. I mean, it's fantastic. And also, it's incorporating a lot of the data from public trading. So for example, I don't like to bet with the public. When my bets match the public, that's fine. But perfect example, last night, too many people were on the Chiefs. So I placed a couple of bets right before kickoff on the Packers to win because I had winnings from yesterday, so it made it easy to put some of that towards the Packers on a hedge play, and to cover because I was like, okay, if the Chiefs still win, I'll cash on this cover play. Now, obviously, the Packers ended up winning, made things really easy. I could see that kind of public trading, that kind of public excitement around the Chiefs made it really easy for me to see I should fade that. So those are a couple examples of why I really like the Outlier app. Nico Collins or Brandon Ayuk. If we're talking rest of season, I think it's Nico Collins. He's a wide receiver one on his team. I'd certainly go that way. By the way, guys, you really don't need to spam. And if you do spam, I am going to mute you guys because we just can't have it. It just bogs down the chat. So please, please don't spam. Gerald McDonald, if you want my bets, here you go. A couple of bets that we've given out so far tonight for Monday Night Football. I'm taking Jaguars on the money line. No surprise there. But I'm taking the Bengals plus 14.5. That's my kind of protection cover play right there. As for the player prop bets that I like, I took Christian Kirk over 49.5 receiving yards. If you took it at 50.5, you'll be okay. Brandon McManus over 1.5 field goals made. Evan Ingram over 4.5 receptions. And I think both Evan Ingram and Travis Etienne both score touchdowns tonight. Trevor Lawrence on the rushing yards is probably a good bet, but it's not what I'm going to go with. I saw it earlier, just not excited about it enough. Alec Burke, love Noah Brown moving forward, absolutely someone you want to pick up. Thoughts on the Browns with Flacco? They looked better than I expected, but I also have to be very cautious. Joe Flacco's a professional. That doesn't mean that defenses aren't going to be able to identify weaknesses and then absolutely target those weaknesses and punish him. So I think we may have seen the best of Joe Flacco. I'm glad that he surprised us, but at the same time, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid, two cups at a time. Gage B, start Tajay Spears or Zeke this week. Great question. I think that Derrick Henry is going to end up playing because it's a Monday night game. So I don't like Spears as much as I would have. I think I like Zeke on Thursday night actually a little bit more. It's a very risky play, but I do think that's the direction I'd go in. Noob DK, should I drop Taysom Hill for Ferguson? Yes, I think so. The only caution I have is if Derek Carr is out, maybe that means more value for Taysom Hill as a quarterback. So, Noob DK, just be thoughtful, be mindful of that if you do make the move. Bryce, was Puka, Evans, Montre for A.J. Brown, Walker, and Jones a good trade? If you're getting the Brown, Walker, and Jones side, yes, it was. The Ramondre Stevenson injury certainly makes it so. Daniel P., should I drop Watson for Spears? No, I don't think so. I understand why you say that. I haven't heard about what the extent of the hamstring injury is. If it will cost him a couple weeks, I'd be okay with it, but I don't love it. Guys, please don't spam. So, Colston, please don't spam, buddy. Hank, need Chase and McManus to stay under 32. What are the odds? I think you're in good shape. Eric, have Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, and Nico Collins. Which one should I trade for an RB? I'd probably trade Justin Jefferson, actually, because it's all hype right now. So you don't know if he's going to do good. You don't know if he's going to do bad. So you could trade him on pure hype and probably get a good return. Lanny, thanks so much. Appreciate you following the show. Our bets did really well yesterday, fortunately for all of us. We give out a lot of picks, so we're so happy when our picks can do well. If you guys want every bet that we make every single day, make sure you DM us on Instagram. That's ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. Make sure you DM us. That way you get every bet that we make every single day. Just hit us up. That's ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. DM us. We'll give you a link and a referral code so you can get every bet that we make every single day. All of our bets are based on trends, data, and analytics. So make sure you hit us up, and that way you get every bet that we make. Because who doesn't like a good trend? Arctic Tiger, rate my 5-man tonight. Ridley is captain. I don't like it as much. I don't like Ridley as the captain tonight. I'd go in another direction, but Lawrence, yeah. Higgins, okay. Kirk, I'd go Chase over Higgins. I'd go Kirk over Ridley. I do like Ingram, but Arctic Tiger, we're kind of seeing it a different way. I don't want to discourage you, though. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. And, maybe this one will come back tomorrow and we'll see how it goes. Toby, thoughts on Chuba Hubbard? Dropped 20 back-to-back. I know. Chuba Hubbard had a much better game than I expected. He absolutely had a good performance. He has a tough matchup against the Saints, but I said that last week against the Bucs. Which one of these would you trade after the season in a dynasty? Oh, I would probably trade Cousins. I'd keep Burrow and Love. They're the ones who are trending up. They're younger, greater potential. If any of you guys want to join the show, feel free to do so. Hit us up as a guest. Would love to have you guys join the show. We've got our speaker here, so it should be a good audio experience for everyone watching. So if any of you guys want to join the conversation, ask a question, feel free to do so. Sit one, Warren, Johnson, Hopkins, or Cooks in PPR. Mail, I haven't looked too far ahead. I have the schedule up for next week, but I don't really want to give out any picks right now because I don't want to give you false hope. Just looking at it, I haven't done my research on it, so we're not going to give out too many picks for this upcoming week. T, I'm up by 40. My opponent has Chase and ETN. Do you think I'm in good shape? Yes, I think you're going to be okay. Yo, boy, Alex, is JJ an auto start versus the Raiders, even coming off IR? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Daniel P., hope you have a great night, man. Really appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate all of you guys watching, no matter the platform, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Hit that follow button. Like any overs for sacks tonight? The art dealers, I actually do. Let me put a couple up on the big board. There are a couple of picks that I do like tonight. I'm taking Josh Allen. I took Josh Allen over 0.75 sacks. I did, and I took Trey Hendrickson over 0.75 sacks. So I took both of them getting sacks tonight. I did like the sack plays tonight, believe it or not. So for both of them, Trey Hendrickson over 0.75 sacks, Josh Allen over 0.75 sacks. Both of those made the big board as well. So there you go, a couple of picks because I owed you a few from earlier in the show. G. Joe, Metcalf scoring against the 49ers. We're going to have to dive into the research a little bit more. I do think Metcalf could have a good game, but I have to dive into it. Lanny won. Man, Pickett getting hurt yesterday. Yep. Messed up the parlays with the over the Kenny Pickett over half a passing touchdown. Yeah, I thought he was going to get that. Yo boy Alex wants a rant. Purdy is now #1 in MVP odds. Do I agree? The answer is no. I don't believe that Brock Purdy should be the MVP because we saw when he didn't have important members of his team, he wasn't good enough to lead his team to wins. So I don't think he is the most valuable player to his team. Now, I can't give it to Trent Williams, who's actually the most valuable player on the 49ers offense, but there is a member of the 49ers offense who's put up the stats, who would be deserving of an MVP, and that's Christian McCaffrey. I think Brock Purdy is not playing well enough to be an MVP. I think Christian McCaffrey actually is. So I understand why Brock Purdy is the betting favorite right now, but I don't think that's deserved. And I don't think voters should actually give him that award if the 49ers end up with the #1 seed in the NFC. I think it deserves to be Christian McCaffrey if the 49ers end up with that #1 seed. Now, I don't think that we're going to have to worry about it. I think that things are going to develop over the next few weeks. And I think this is actually going to be really between Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. Why? Because this is a media-based award. Who's going to vote for Brock Purdy compared to Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts? I think it's just going to be tough. I'm saying that now for the same reason Florida State's not in the college football playoff. I think it may be the reason that Brock Purdy doesn't end up being the MVP. Dak Prescott has opportunities this week against the Eagles to have a really big performance against a rival. I would expect by this time next week, Dak Prescott is the favorite for MVP. Reed, Joe Mixon over 13.5 rushing attempts. So I don't like the 13.5 rushing attempts. I understand why you say it, but I don't love it from a stat trend standpoint. ETN over Reed, there were just two bets that I'm not excited by. Nolan, I need 25 or I'm out of the playoffs. I have Jaguars defense and McManus. Am I winning? I don't think so. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm rooting for you, but I don't think so. Falk 10, down 18 with Lawrence and Ingram. Do you think I'm good? Yes, I do, Falk 10. I think you are good. I think you're going to be okay. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you want every bet that I make every day, not just the bets we give out during the show, but every bet, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Wow. Will Lamar get 16? No. Brady Youngblood? No, I don't think so. Is Cooks a good start rest of season? I think he's a decent start. Felix, I think he's a decent start rest of season, yeah. Arctic Tiger, not jinxing things. Will McCaffrey finally be healthy for an entire season? Well, now you just jinxed him. Now you just ruined it, Arctic Tiger. Oh, and I need a QB. Who should I pick up? Who are some quarterbacks worth picking up this week? Feel like a lot of people are dropping Jared Goff. So if Jared Goff is all of a sudden available in your league, make sure you make that move. I'd be okay with Baker Mayfield. I think he actually could have some success against the Falcons this week, though it's not a great matchup. Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew continues to be a good play. He's got the Colts this upcoming week. I think that... Ooh. Jordan Love might be a nice play. Jordan Love might be a nice pickup for some of you. Oh, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has a great matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. Russell Wilson is a phenomenal matchup this upcoming week. Is Herbert worth keeping? Yeah, I think so. Down 10.3 with Ingram. Do I win? Cam, super close. I think there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. Christian Kirk over 16 points possible tonight. Yes, it is, Braden, especially in a PPR. I put 500 on the Rams winning the Super Bowl. Isaiah, you could have given me 250 and the same result would have happened. Chris Gould, I lost this week because Lamb, Hill, Debo all had 30-plus points. Chris Gould, I am so sorry. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Lanny, Kirk over 3.5. Line was at 4. If you can get Christian Kirk at 3.5, I take it right now. 3.5, I love it. 4.5 is risky, but 3.5, I take it right now. Jorge, a little interesting bet. Chase, Etienne, Ridley, 4+ touchdowns. Kind of an interesting bet, Jorge. Ridley, it's interesting. Jorge, I don't hate it. It's an interesting one. Yo, boy, Alex, I know it's too soon, but who will have the better game in Sunday Night Football? Oh, Dak. Dak's going to have the better game. He's got the better matchup. The Eagles' pass defense is bad, guys. It's a bad pass defense. I think that's a good play. We've got a guest. Let's see who wants to come on. We're giving this a new try with the speaker. Oh, let's see how it goes. What's good? Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
How you feel about the college football playoff?
Wow, great question. I think the committee got it right. I think that Florida State got robbed. I think that we knew that was going to happen, but I think it's justified. And the reason I know it's justified is if you saw the video of Michigan reacting to Alabama getting in, that was a team that wasn't happy. They thought they were going to get a kind of a bye week because they were going to play Florida State. And that told me all I needed to know, which is Florida State one of the 4 best teams? No. Because one of the other teams that got into the playoff, they were going to cheer if Florida State had gotten in there. So I think the committee got it right. I think it's a flawed system. I wish they had started the playoff expansion this year. But I think ultimately the 4 best teams are going to be playing. What do you think?
I mean, people are just upset about it. I mean, but last year everybody was just talking about how TCU, they're mad how TCU got in the finals. I'm saying like, because if Florida, let's be honest, their second string guy out, so shoot, you can only imagine how it would have been if Florida State, Michigan. They're undefeated, yada yada, but you probably couldn't pull off a win during Florida. I get it's rivalry week, but can't pull off a win like that.
The game against Louisville should have been a blowout. If they had made that a convincing game, and when I mean blowout, I don't mean 40 points. I mean like a 3-touchdown game rather. I needed a 3-touchdown win. If you had won by 21 points, I would have been like, all right, Florida State can legitimately play against an Alabama, a Washington, or a Michigan. But do I think Florida State right now is talented enough on the offensive side of the ball to make a competitive matchup in the semifinal? No. And I wish all the Florida State fans out there, the perspective, I know they won't have that, and I don't blame them because you got robbed. But to be honest, that injury was all it took. And I flip it on him. If Milroe had gotten hurt in the SEC championship, would we be saying Alabama deserves to be a top 4 team? Probably not.
Yeah. But one thing I feel like Texas should not have been in. That's the one.
Oh, damn. Okay. And you would have put Georgia in?
I feel like they could have sneaked in Georgia in still. They've been number 1 the whole year. Shoot, you got to give them something. I'm like, you just gonna give them a participation award just for getting number 1. They've been reigning for like 11 weeks. Well, no, I think they had moved Ohio State over them, but they've been number 1 for a couple times. An SEC championship game. It's a championship game. It was close. Now I'll get it if it was by like 10 points. Just like that. But it was a close game. You can't do them like that. I feel like they should have made it where we could possibly see a rematch of the SEC championship.
I kind of agree with you, but this is a perfect. This is an example to Florida State. Texas took care of business against Oklahoma State. Like Texas won in convincing fashion, which made it really easy for the committee to say, okay, they deserve their spot. Now, what I would say is one of the things I actually like about how the committee went about their business is there 5 power conferences, 4 conference champions got in, and I feel like that's appropriate. Georgia, that was an elimination game. Like that was, for all purposes, a playoff game. I kind of like that. The game between Michigan and Ohio State, that pretty much was a playoff game. The game between Oregon and Washington, that pretty much was a playoff game. So I kind of like the fact we just kind of experienced what the expanded playoffs would be. We just got it in the conference championship round as opposed to a round that comes after that. But I feel like Texas deserved to be in there only in that they beat Alabama earlier in the year. They only had 1 loss. They won their conference championship, and the committee had already ranked them pretty high. And they've got a talented roster. Like, I don't see if I put Texas head-to-head with Florida State, I think Texas wins by 17 points right now. I'd probably put the spread at like 16 and a half.
Yeah. Still with that playoff next year, I think SEC is still going to run it.
You know what? I think it's going to change now that so many teams in the Pac-12 are in the Big Ten or are in the Big 12. It's going to change things because the SEC competition, it's just like, how is the committee going to value these teams? Like now they want to put as many conferences in. Now, are we going to get 2 Big Ten teams versus 2 SEC teams? Do they want to keep the kind of conference diversity? I think we're going to find out. So I think there's a lot to still be determined. Appreciate you joining the show, man. I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for watching, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you. Bye.
If you guys want to join the show, I wanted to give other people the opportunity. Colston wanted to get Colston on. Colston wanted to ask a question. What's up, Colston?
So you think Devonta Adams will produce rest of the season?
I mean, here's the tricky part for me. I know that they want to target him. I know that Pierce has come out and pretty much said, I want to give Jacobs the ball. I want to over-target Pierce. I want to over-target Adams. But my concern about that is, do I trust Aiden O'Connell? So overall, not really. If I look at their remaining schedule, Vikings, that's a favorable matchup. Chargers, we love. Chiefs, not great. Colts, we love. Broncos, we like, but it's the last game of the year when the playoffs are over. I would say he's a good play the next 2 weeks. So if you need him really for the next 2 weeks, you're good. After that, it gets a little bit tricky.
All right. Also, what about Saquon Barkley?
Give me a quick second. I'm just going to quickly look at what the Giants have rest of season. I love his matchup against the Packers this upcoming week. We saw what Pacheco did last night. Saquon should have a really good matchup this upcoming week against the Packers. Then he has 2 tough matchups in a row, Saints and the Eagles. Frankly, the last week of value you'll get out of Saquon is this week, and then pretty much he's a bad start.
Okay, because I got Pacheco and A-Chain, and they produced this week, both of them. So
And you know what? I think rest of season, I'd rather start Achan and Pacheco. They're going to be the 2 you'd rather go with.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate you watching the show, Colston. Have a good one.
You too.
We've got another guest who wants to join the show. Let's get Daddy Alex up here.
Hello.
What's good, man? How you doing tonight?
Hey, this is your boy Alex. I just want to start off by saying I appreciate you. You know, like all the advice and bets you've given me, you've helped me a lot.
We really appreciate you watching the show every day. You're a great viewer.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I love tuning into your stream all the time. Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Yeah, so I just want to talk about, like I said, it's too soon, but about the Sunday night football game, Eagles and Cowboys. Last time, CeeDee Lamb had a great game. He had like 191 yards against the Eagles. So I was thinking, how do you like over 95.5 yards versus the Eagles?
Wow, you're really getting ahead of the curve on this one. The answer is I really like it, and if you are starting to put together some parlays that involve his receiving yards, the tendency is to say I like it. I'll probably like his receptions more. I think he'll probably be targeted. Yardage is going to be about, does he break away? Does he get, the big chunk plays? The answer is much like we saw last night. I felt like it was safe to play Debo yesterday. I felt like it was safe to play Ayuk yesterday. I felt like those were safe. So I'm going to say the same thing when it comes to CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. I feel like it's safe because the Eagles defense hasn't shown me anything for me to be worried about it. So I'll say yes, it's a good play. Do I like it at 95.5? Probably not. I like it at probably like 79.5, 79.5, something like that. But I will say this. I want to make sure you hear this, yo boy Alex. If you do put it into parlays, do those round robins. I've been really successful with those lately, especially with those player prop bets because, one miss on those and the parlay goes bust. In a round robin, you can survive it a little bit.
Right. I actually do have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Dak has been playing phenomenal, and especially at home, So I was thinking over 2.5 touchdowns.
Yes, over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I could absolutely see happening. Now, do I like that? No. I wish the sports book would bring that down to 1.5. I feel like it's a bit of a trap right now. But the answer is that's been a really good bet of late. That's been a really good bet. And the Eagles give up a lot of passing touchdowns. I like it. One thing I might do, as crazy as this sounds, I might make a little hedge on that, and I might take Dak on a rushing touchdown. Because if you don't get it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's because he actually ran for a touchdown. And given the odds on what that'll be, it might be a nice hedge play. Just a thought. I haven't looked into the data on it. That's just me kind of putting together some of the notes I had from past weeks of research.
No, yeah, I got a notebook with me right now, so I'll for sure put that.
We'll definitely talk about it throughout the week, man. I appreciate you watching the show.
Thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate you.
Have a great one. Bye, man.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to let some other guests join the show. Let's get Marco up here. Don't worry, others who are on hold, don't worry, we'll get to you as well. Just having some fun bringing on guests. Marco, what's good, man?
Hey, how's it going, my friend?
How you doing?
I'm good, my man. So I don't know what your take on this is, but, with Justin Jefferson coming back, how do you think he's going to produce with Dobbs as quarterback? What's your take?
So I actually like Justin Jefferson in the role that he has, which is he is given that superstar status, which is we're just going to throw the ball at him, whether he's covered, double covered, triple covered, it doesn't matter. And I like that about it as a fantasy owner because it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Like, it doesn't matter. Josh Dobbs is just going to chuck at him. Maybe to his own detriment at times statistically, but you don't own Josh Dobbs, so you don't care about that. I actually think Justin Jefferson could come back and perform. What I've been saying is at a high-end wide receiver 2 level. Do I think he's a wide receiver 1? Not right now because of the quarterback. But do I still think he retains a good amount of value? Absolutely. I think he'll be targeted anywhere from 7 to 11 times, and he'll probably get 5-6 catches.
Okay. And I have one more question.
Go for it.
This is with T. Higgins. So I know with Browning, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like with these quarterbacks that come into the picture, like these no quarterbacks, it seems like the number 1 receiver kind of gets thrown out the window, and the number 2 receiver kind of comes out of nowhere, and he becomes mostly his favorite target. I don't know. At least that's what I've seen with like other new quarterbacks.
Your thought process is right. I would actually kind of just critique the language you used around it, which is an opposing defense isn't as worried. So they can double team that number 1 wide receiver because they're not as worried about Joe Burrow picking them apart to all these other targets, because they know a lesser quarterback, he's going to go to that number 1 option and over-fixate on him. And so I think it just makes it easier. The progression, they don't get as deep into progression. Maybe they get to their 3rd, option in the play as opposed to their 5th, because Joe Burrow processes faster or can see things better. That's why he's a quarterback 1. So what I would say is I think T. Higgins is an interesting play tonight. I still think Jamar Chase could have a monster game. And when I say monster game, again, it's kind of like what you referred to with Justin Jefferson, which is a high-end wide receiver 2 game. Maybe 4 or 5 catches, 60, 65 yards, maybe a touchdown. Given what the circumstances are around the Bengals, I call that a monster game. If you play PPR, that's what, a 16-point game, 15.5-point game? Like, that's a pretty good game. So that's where I kind of come out both with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, given their quarterback situations.
Yeah. All right, well, that was it. Appreciate the time, though.
Appreciate you joining the show. Thanks for watching, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's get someone else up here. Cam, what's good, Cam? By the way, Jorge, I would do that. Jorge, I would take Jason Tatum over 30.5. Oh, let's see if we can get Cam on here. If you guys want to join the show live, feel free. As you can tell, we're having guests on who want to ask their questions and want to join the show. So if you have a question, fire away. More than happy to bring you guys on. Cam, don't seem to be connecting right now, so let's have you try again. Pluex, what's good, Pluex? Hope you're enjoying the show. Jordan Johnson, are you able to invite me to join your live and ask a question? I don't think so. I don't think I can invite you. I think you have to have a certain number of followers. I think you have to have 1,000 followers to be able to do it. Pat, I had Dell, Stevenson, and Swift on my team. Yeah, tough spot to be in right now. Very sorry about that. And predicted to lose by 0. Yeah, Pat, I'm so sorry. We did the best we could, man. Thoughts on this 10-man? Leo, Hurts, Barkley, Eckler, Swift, Brown, Ayuk, Schultz, Wilson, and Cooper. Am I winning it? I don't think you're winning the ship right now. Barkley's going to have a tough stretch. Final few weeks is going to be tough for him. Schultz, how long is he out? So a little bit of concern around that team. Jorge, up 10 with Jags defense. He has Ridley. Do I win? Jorge, I think you do. It's close, though. Can you scroll down to the other NBA player prop bets? Of course we can. Again, if you guys want every bet that we make every day, DM me on Instagram. All of my bets are available on the SHARPZ app, so just DM me on Instagram to get every bet that we make every single day. If you guys want to join the show as a guest, feel free to do so. Well, do you think CJ is going to be fine when he gets his guys all back? He let me down this week. CJ Stroud? Is that who you're talking about? I mean, because CJ Stroud he didn't get the 2 touchdowns we were expecting, but he's not going to have Dell rest of season. So there is a little bit of concern there, but it really is week-to-week matchup based. Houston plays New York this week. Don't love his matchup. Kobe Lee, what did you think about the missed PI call in the Chiefs game? Egregious. Was so obvious. It really makes me... That was another level. Like, that was like, what are you doing? You know, I compare it to another sport. There are times I see a pitcher, an umpire strike zone, and a pitcher's called a ball that should be a strike, and I'm like, well, I get it. Like, you know, his head was here and the ball was here. Okay. But then there are times where the ball's outside by like 14 inches and it's called a strike. And you're like, what are we even doing? Like, what's even the point of this? I felt like that pass interference call was that kind of throw your hands in the air. What does it even matter? Like, why are we even watching this? And I think the NFL needs to recognize that's when they hit a problem area, is when you go, like, why am I even watching? If I just committed 3 hours to watch this game and it comes down to that bad a call, like, what the hell? Nolan is still saying the Chiefs have a good track record with the refs. I'm not gonna argue with you, especially if you're a Bengals fan. Teddy, start Higgins or Kirk. I'd go Christian Kirk. Teddy, I'd go Christian Kirk tonight. I have Love as my backup. Do you think he's a better start? Jordan, I think he's a better play this week. Wow, you know what's interesting actually? This is one of the few times I can remember in which both New York teams play at the stadium back-to-back games. So the Jets are on Sunday, 1 o'clock game against Houston. The Giants are on Monday night against the Packers. I think the Packers have the better matchup. The Giants aren't as good a pass defense, but MetLife Stadium could play its tricks on both of those teams. Colston, I have Singletary at the flex right now. Would you keep him there, or should I pick up Devontae? Or I pick up Devontae. I don't trust Singletary after Pierce came back and got the touchdown. Nolan, big game for Calvin Ridley. I don't think so. Other people may think so. Lanny, let's go. Have a great night, man. Hope you cash a lot of tickets tonight. For all of those that are watching, I really appreciate you watching the show. Make sure that you hit that follow button and make sure you subscribe. We are live every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you love the content, make sure you follow and make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss our show. Danny, Trevor Lawrence over 250. Kirk over 50. Yes. Ingram 5 catches. Yes. Ridley and Mixon anytime touchdown. No. The OG big fella, everyone on Evan Ingram feels like he's 100% getting hurt. The big fella, that logic absolutely rings true with me. I actually think there's something to that. I have Trevor and McPherson, and my opponent has Etienne. I'm down 12. Do you think I win? Oof. I don't know. It's very close. 8 for MVP? I don't think so. I think you're going to end up losing. I think it's too close. 10K 3Y. Do I win? I'm losing by 3. He has Kirk. I have Etienne and Chase. I do think you win. Michael stuck. I'm up 15 and he has Chase left. What do you think? I think you're going to be okay. Very close, but I think you're okay. Jorge, I'm not on Mixon anytime touchdown. I understand why some people want to take it. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying it's not a bet that I want. BTT student down 18. I have Lawrence, Jags, and he has Ingram. Thoughts? Not looking good, BTT student. Not looking good. Jorge, Herbert, and Stroud rest of season. I probably go with CJ Stroud just barely. Jorge, Chiefs money line fell through yesterday. Jorge, literally the only game pick that we gave out in our newsletter that we didn't get right. We went 7 for 7 before that in our newsletter game picks, and then that one just busted. But I had a feeling, so I took the Packers on the money line prior to the game. I took the Packers on some hedge plays. Jack, is Nico going to be a good start now that Dell's out? Yes. Do you think Chase and Etienne combined for 28 points? Cameron? The answer is no. I think it's just shy of 28 points. I think it's closer to like 25. Braden M. Javonte Kittle for Jacobs, Kyron, or Austin Eckler. I have McBride. I like it, Braden. I like the trade. Dylan, Etienne tonight. I like him on an anytime touchdown. Sonny, I'm up 57, going up against Lawrence, Ridley, and Etienne. I think you're going to be okay, Sonny. They're going to kind of cannibalize each other. Appreciate you guys being with us. BTT student playing against Jefferson next week. in a must-win. How much do you think he will produce in the PPR? Well, what's interesting about his matchup that he has coming off that bye week is he plays the Raiders. They're not a great pass defense, so I think there's going to be some. They're not a terrible pass defense, rather. There might be some opportunities for him. The Raiders have been good against, like, they've been, a top 12 team against the pass. They've actually been a decent pass defense, so it's kind of interesting. Hunter Pierce, should I get rid of Eckler? I have Kyron and Henry also. Well, you may not want to give him up because Henry, depending on his health for this upcoming week. Let's get another guest on here. Someone else wants to ask. Let's get Yusuf up here. Yusuf, what's good?
Hey, what's up, Buffalo?
How you doing today?
Good, man. So, I guess to reflect, I don't know if you remember I asked about those four mid receivers. They all performed pretty similarly, but you were right that Romeo Doubs had a better game than Curtis and Judy. JSN had the best game, but it was only by one more point at 13. So that was pretty. Yeah, it's like you said. Like Romeo Doubs had more opportunities than Curtis Samuel. Like Curtis Samuel just had a lot of short passes, and then I guess when you're on YouTube or TikTok, it's easy to think like Curtis Samuel's gonna have 30 points because they're gonna play from behind. It's not like that. So.
We do our research, Yusuf, to try to help you avoid some of those potholes. Because, yeah, it's easy to overlook that even if Curtis Samuel is used at a high frequency, if he's not being used down the field, like, so what? You have to be in a PPR league that really values those touches. So anyways, appreciate you coming back and letting us know that our advice worked out for you.
100%. And I guess I do have a question because fantasy odds show I have a 33% chance, and I need to win to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure if I win, I secured a playoff spot, but if I lose, I'm in a position where I'm not going to be able to beat the tiebreaker. So I need ETN and McManus to have 26 total points in full PPR.
Wow. That makes me really nervous for you. I don't want to lie. I think you have a chance. I don't love it, and here's why. I think you have a chance because I think ETN could get a touchdown, and then it's about, okay, does he have a big game on the ground? Does he get a screen pass that goes for 40 yards, and that gets you, combined with Russia? Like, how do you make that up? The problem I have is if ETN does well, it actually kind of means McManus does less well. He could get extra points, but you need field goals. So you need like ETN. Perfect game for you would be like ETN scores 2 touchdowns, but the offense couldn't get in the end zone other than that, so it becomes a McManus, field goal game. Could that happen? Yes, but I don't think so. So I think I think you have reason to be nervous. I don't want to give you too much dread or too much hope. I feel like this is one in which it's like it could happen, but if I had to bet, I would probably bet against you.
Dude, yeah, you're giving me the same odds as the sleeper app. That's the same response. That I mean, you're right. It's like I'm not confident that ETN will do it. I feel like ETN could definitely he's done it before, like a 20-point game. But I don't see it because he hasn't. It sounds like he's going into this with like a rib, like questionable, or maybe he was.
That's part of it too. Is and a lot of people have asked, on the show, like, do you like him on rushing yards or do you like him on receptions? And part of my concern is if I'm Doug Peterson, do I want to risk Travis Etienne in a Monday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals? I really should be able to win this. If I'm Doug Peterson, I'm telling myself, like, yeah, respect every opponent. You should be able to win this. And don't compromise Etienne for rest of season or the postseason for a Monday night game against the Bengals. So there is some caution for me overall, but I also have to believe that Etienne, if he's on the field, has value. So I think you have some hope, but I also think it's like your sports betting and DFS days might be right ahead of you.
Right. No, I definitely agree. I mean, that makes me think, do you think there would be more like for Dearness Johnson or Tank Bigsby in that case?
No. Like, let's not. This is one where we don't need to overcompensate. Like, that's an overreaction. Etienne is certainly the most valuable play. It's more like what I'm really telling you, and I think I'm telling you the same thing that probability is telling you, is the likelihood that Etienne has like a grand slam monster game is down. He could have a really good game, but you don't need a really good game from him. You need like almost beyond that. And that's what's making it a little tricky, and that's why the probability is where it's at. But that said, I don't want to completely talk you onto the ledge because I still think there's a chance. So.
No, yeah, you're totally right. I mean, yeah, that's a good way of explaining it, and I appreciate that too, because it is tough. I know it's just an app on my phone, but we invest a lot of time into these, into fantasy, so it's competitive for me, and it's like 11 of my friends other than me, so I understand. Like, I know some people are like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just.
Oh my goodness, you're not gonna find anyone who takes it. I built a company that devotes 5 months of the year, 6 months of the year towards talking this stuff endlessly. So if there's anyone who takes it seriously, it's certainly us. And I also appreciate the fact that, like, you know, you do put in time and you do care, and like you get to a point in the year where, you know, something's got to give. And I have to admit, these are both my favorite questions to answer and my least favorite. They're my favorite because I can't be wrong. Like, if I say, like, you have a chance or you don't have a chance, like, you don't care. You're trying to get some perspective. When I tell you a player to sit or start, like, I can get that wrong. Like, I can screw you up. But I obviously want you to succeed, and I hope that things go well tonight for you.
No, definitely. No, appreciate that. It's like you said, like, you've seen me in your lives, and you're like, hey, dude, it's Yusuf again. I want to, like, cheer him on, but it's that, like, you can't help but be honest because you're just analytical. So it's like, you're like, I think I'm not gonna push you off the edge, but there's a chance that, yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, it just every fantasy game, the projections, you can look at them and they'll change rapidly throughout the game. So I just like getting like an honest idea of like what to expect. So no, I appreciate that.
And something I mentioned last week with his passing, I brought up Charlie Munger, and I'd like to think when it comes to sports betting and fantasy sports, I want to be more like the Charlie Munger than the Warren Buffett. I don't want to be the optimist who thinks everything's going to work out, everything's going to be great. I actually like taking a more pessimistic approach. So kind of to this conversation, I like saying to you, hey, be mindful of the fact you could lose. You have proper expectations. Now if you win, amazing. But if you came into tonight and I was like, oh, of course you're going to win. The whole game, you would be sitting on nails just like, oh, this doesn't feel right. Like, you know, at least you come in and, like, you know the proper level of expectation to disappointment that you should have.
No, I will say I've only played fantasy for 4 years now, but I will say when I became more, not like optimistic, but just more realistic, and honestly kind of this like more like, sometimes I used to be too optimistic, and I would look at someone's target share during like preseason or like training camps, and I would think I should draft that person, but now kind of have a more like realistic. I've been a way better fantasy player with just doing that, just because you're not gonna have too big of expectations, like overhype any players. So I definitely agree. This is the first time I've clinched playoffs in a league, so I feel like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube has all contributed too. But you know, these TikTok lives, even if I'm just at work or just like working from home, it's helped a ton. Just like random fantasy, like even just watching you answer other people's questions. I like when you actually say the full names of like the players. If you're saying like Jalen Reed or Jerry Jeudy, like your name, because I at least gather that feedback from my own matchups. So no, I appreciate you a ton, Wyatt.
We're so grateful to have you as a viewer, and we'll be rooting for you tonight. Obviously, I'll be thinking of Travis Etienne every time he touches the ball.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for the good luck.
Have a great night, man. Good luck. Bye-bye. If you guys want to join the show, feel free. Happy to have viewers come on. We've been live for about an hour and a half so far. Happy to have those who want to join the show come on, so go for it. Jorge sending you good vibes, Yusuf, so getting good vibes over from YouTube. Diego Halliburton, 5 3-pointers made. We looked at it earlier. I wasn't a fan of it. Other people liked it, but I wasn't huge on it. Jorge, Mike Evans has been an incredible steal this year in the draft. He did a phenomenal job this past week. He just continues to dazzle. And, you know, is he a Hall of Famer? I think so. A.J. Brown or Diggs rest of season? I'd probably go A.J. Brown this upcoming week. I'd probably go Diggs. Brock Ford, Kupp and Breece Hall for McCaffrey. Do that deal, Brock Ford. Do that deal. Cancino, Kirk, or Chase. I need them to score 30. I'd go. Who has the greater chance of scoring 30? Funny enough, Chase probably has a greater chance of it. I'd go Kirk. Who's going to have a better night? But who has a greater ceiling? It's because Kirk has so many other mouths to feed in that offense. Diggs, rest of season. I think that Diggs probably rest of season. No, rest of season I'd go A.J. Brown, but Diggs rest of season is a good play, Armin. It doesn't matter the QB. He's just Jorge, whether it's Tom Brady or Jameis Winston or Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans just delivers. Diego is beast. I did take Chase on an anytime touchdown, and that's actually another pick that I need to put up on the board, guys. Appreciate you guys being with us. I have another pick to give out for you guys. And this one, I'm taking the rookie quarterback. I'm taking the youngster. He's not a rookie. I shouldn't say that. I'm taking Jake Browning over half a passing touchdown. That's Jake Browning over half a passing touchdown. That's the next pick we're giving out, guys. So Jake Browning over half a passing touchdown. I think he does get it. ETN is playing, Brody. ETN is playing. By the way, guys, no need to spam. No need to spam. If any of you guys want to come up and ask your question live on the air, feel free. More than happy to have guests on the show. We've had a few people join. Seems to be a good experience so far. The audio works well. Happy about that. Trying some new things here at Butt Fumble Sports. Braden M, thoughts on DeAndre Swift. Didn't like his matchup last week. Don't like the matchup this week. So overall, Swift's just not a great play. It's not really about him. It's just the teams that the Eagles are playing this time. Is Eckler a bust this year? I think he is. Olave and Collins for Diggs, too much? Way too much. I'd rather have Olave and Collins, to be honest. Jack, Brown for Chase and Cup. I'd rather keep Brown. I don't understand the need to trade him right now. I'd rather have Brown. Adams or Diggs rest of season. I'm going to go Stephon Diggs. I'd rather have Diggs rest of season. Teddy Spencer, Rice or Sutton. I'm going to lean maybe just slightly towards Rice. Sutton's matchup. Oh, wait. Sutton has a really favorable matchup. Give me 1 second. Denver Broncos. They play the Chargers. I got to go Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton has a phenomenal matchup next week. I go Sutton. Brody, how many do you think that Chase and Etienne combined will score? I think they could get to 20. Anywhere between 20 and 24. Sutton has been cash money on the anytime touchdown. Jorge, he was for us yesterday. I know you took that. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If any of you guys want to join as a guest on TikTok, feel free. Thoughts on my Toronto Raptors, King Raptor Cholo. Great to have you with us. The answer is I'm surprised that the Raptors are performing as well as they are. I thought the Raptors would be even worse. So are they a good team? They're okay. They're kind of the median, but they're performing better than I thought. They have some upsets that I thought they would lose. So they have a lot of talent. The problem I see is I feel before the trade deadline, they're going to sell off some of their pieces. So I wouldn't get too attached to this current version of the Toronto Raptors because I think they'll probably trade off a few players. OG Anunoby has just incredible value. Derek B, what do you think about Brown for the Texans? Noah Brown is a great pickup, Derek B. Noah Brown's a great pickup. Do you trust Trevor pass yards over? I don't, Big Hawk. He should have a good game. He should have a big game. He hasn't been, though, as good at home as he has been on the road. And I feel like this game, they could play a different strategy. Jaguars could go to that kind of run the clock, let's bring out Tank Bigsby, Dearness Johnson kind of offense. Greg Gizmo's putting out some fire takes right now. Jalen Brunson over 50 points tonight. That would be amazing because they don't play tonight. They play tomorrow. Bucks game is tomorrow. Bucks Knicks is tomorrow. I need 46. Got Trevor and Chase. You think I get there? No. Sorry, Caleb. Rooting for you, though. Big Hawk, what's good? James, Evan Ingram, I think gets to 7. I do think he gets you 7 fantasy points. If any of you guys want to join the show, feel free to come on. Big Hawk, if you want all of our bets every single day, just DM us on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram to get every bet that we make every single day. We give them away for free. If you are watching right now on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can see all of our picks up on the screen. We put them up on our big board. But if you don't want to track them during the show, if you want them for free every single day, just DM us on Instagram to get every pick. Alex Ellington, do you think it's worth dropping the Cowboys for the Texans defense rest of season? No, I'd rather have Cowboys rest of season. Not this upcoming week, but after that. Big Hawk, I DM you on Sunday. Do I have to do it every day? No. All you have to do is go to our profile on the SHARPZ app, and you'll see all of our picks every day. I update them, so sometimes the app's a little slow to update because I need to just hit a button that I sometimes forget to. But don't worry, they show up every day. Jack, Watson or Reed rest of season? Jack, I'd go Jaden Reed. The hamstring injury to Watson has me concerned. Trunks, any TD touchdown plays tonight? We gave out 2. I gave out Evan Ingram and Travis Etienne. I also like Jamar Chase. King Raptor, do you hear the A's put a hold on the A's stadium renders and they ain't going to be Tropicana anymore? Wow. I mean, some crazy things are going on right now in the MLB when it comes to movement of teams. Sam Mancini, thoughts on Nico Collins? Not a great matchup this upcoming week against the Jets, but I do think he has a lot of value rest of season. Hollis, Etienne, anytime touchdown. Ingram, receptions, good bet. Hollis, I like it, buddy. I like it. Ladies, man, any chance Kenneth Walker plays any good football this season? He's got a brutal schedule, waiver running back. Ladies, man, I think that he's worth picking up, but I understand the concern. Joe Bustamante, I need Mixon to get me 10.5 points. What do you think? I think you're really hoping for a touchdown. I don't know if it happens. Etienne rushing yards, do you think over 66 or Mixon over 46.5? Angel, I think I'd rather take Mixon over 46.5, believe it or not. Etienne over 66.5 seems a little bit high to me. That feels like it's being overinflated by the books. Who's a good option on waiver wire for Tank Dell? Joseph, look for Noah Brown. Look for that other Texans wide receiver. Might be a really good play for you. H Hockey, tied right now. Have Mixon and Jamar Chase. The guy I play has Ingram and Jacksonville defense. What do you think? Hockey, I think it's a dead heap. I think you may come out ahead, but it's close. Lucas, Spears, good play if Henry doesn't play. If Henry doesn't play, Lucas, he's a phenomenal play. But I do think Henry's going to play. I think Henry actually will be back by Monday Night Football. Ty Chandler pickup. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota plays Vegas. Vegas has been bad against the run. I guess I like it for that reason, so there you go. Big Hawk loves the SHARPZ app. I agree with you. The SHARPZ app is fantastic. Great place for us to share our bets. One of the things I love about it the most is I can see what other sports bettors that I like, what they're doing. You can comment on picks. You can react to picks. If you guys want every bet that I make every single day, regardless of the sport, the type of bet, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. That's the name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you up with a link and a referral code so you get every bet that I make every day. Mason, am I panicking on Austin Eckler? Yeah, a little bit. I do think he's got a good matchup against the Broncos, though. Cholo, Raider, you also like the Raptors? No way. Sam, thoughts on Schultz rest of season? Is he healthy enough to go? If he is, I love his quarterback. Jorge, Zeke, Spears, Chuba Hubbard, pickup of the week. Zeke is probably number 1. Zeke's probably number 1. Spears 2. Hubba 3rd. Nick, Etienne or Mixon? You got to go Etienne. Nick St. John, I'd go Etienne. Rick, Higgins or Boyd tonight? I'd go Higgins. Rick, I'd go Higgins. Braden, Achan, Barkley, Kyron, Kamara at running back. I need to sit 1. I'd probably sit... Ooh. I'll tell you who I'm starting. I'm starting Barkley. I'm starting Kamara. Oh, I'd sit Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams would get the sit. Do you think Ingram will get more than 7? Yes, I do, Brody. If any of you guys want to join the show, feel free to come on as a guest. You can ask your question. You can rant about stuff happening in the sports world. Happy to talk to you guys. So if any of you guys want to come on as a guest, feel free. Cholo Raider, I did hear that. I did hear that. Braden, appreciate you joining the show. The art dealer's favorite defensive for the playoffs have Ravens, but bad schedule. Texans might be a good one. Texans are coming on strong, and they've got a favorable schedule, so that could be a good one. What do you think about the Packers? Loved what I saw. Loved what I saw for a couple reasons. One, they started strong. They got out of the gate strong. Two, they did not wilter. I was worried that, when the Chiefs made that kind of pushback and took a lead, that the Packers would fade away. They didn't. They came back strong. And finally, they closed out the game. I mean, that is the ultimate evaluation of a team. How do they start? How do they play when things don't go their way in the middle of the game? How do they close it out? I was impressed. I thought Jordan Love played really well. Did they get the benefit of a bunch of calls by refs? Sure, but they're not in control of that. So I'm just going to say that they benefited, but overall, I think they played a really good game. Defensively, I thought they had a really good strategy for the Chiefs, which was, frankly, force them to run the ball or to take shots when they don't really have a lot of options. So I liked what I saw. They controlled the clock. They were more physical at the line of scrimmage. I thought that was the biggest thing of the game, was the physicality, especially by the offensive line on some of the running plays for the Packers. I liked the play calling. It was a really good game by Green Bay overall. What do I send you for the link on Instagram? Hollis, just DM me on Instagram. Just DM Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I'll send a link and a referral code, and that I'll send you a link and a referral code, and that way you can get every bet. So all you have to do is DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram, to get every bet that I make every single day. By the way, if you guys want access to a free research tool for 7 days, Outlier is the best research tool in all of sports betting. If you want a free 7-day trial for Outlier, DM me on Instagram as well. So whether it's my picks or whether it's access to Outlier, DM me on Instagram for a free 7-day trial to Outlier. I assure you it is worth it. Of course, I hope you guys are following us across all of our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you guys hit us up every day. Cholo Raider, thoughts on the Toronto Blue Jays? I mean, are they getting Ohtani? The fact that they're even in contention for Ohtani astounds me. Armin currently have Jacobs, Ford, Connor, Keenan Allen, Olave, and Collins. What two should I trade for Diggs? Connor and Olave. Connor and Olave is who I would trade for Diggs. I don't know if they'll do the deal, but that's what I would do. Jorge, I definitely had the worst picks in my draft. T. Higgins, Aaron Jones, been out most of the year. Walker out now. Jorge, you look back and we all look smarter in the rear view mirror. Double A, time to drop Thielen. Can pick up Jacoby Myers, Chuba, or Mingo. I'd probably pick up Jacoby Myers. So the answer is yes. Is Achane a must start rest of season? Jack, for the most part. I think it does depend on the matchups, but for the most part. Brad, Texans defense. And it's not close. Texans defense. The problem they have is, once again, the division they're in is loaded. We have been live, guys, for about an hour and 40 minutes. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content. If you do, hit that follow button. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. We are live every single day across all of these platforms. So make sure you follow and make sure you subscribe. And of course, as we've talked about, if you want my bets, DM me on Instagram. Brody Larson DM'd me. He got every bet that I make. Dell hit me up on Instagram. He got every bet that I make. Nate Hollis hit me up on Instagram. He's getting every bet that I make. If you want every bet that I make every single day, DM me on Instagram. We give away our picks for free every single day. So DM me on Instagram right now. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. NFL, NBA, NHL, doesn't matter what sport. Player prop bet, game pick, total play, parlays, individual bets. Doesn't matter the type of bet. They're all available for free. Just DM me on Instagram. Mo Beasy, thanks so much for hitting me up. If any of you guys want to join the show, feel free to do so. Logan Kendall, I'd go Kirk over Mixon. Mo Beasy, thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate you. Quinn, just lost Tank. Who should I pick up? If Noah Brown's available, I'd go Noah Brown. A.G. Shiesty, I'm down 11. I have Mixon and Jags kicker left, and he has Ridley. Do you think I have a shot? Not a good one. Sorry, buddy. Wish I could give you more hope, but don't really love it. Jorge, Monty, Walker, Moss, Jacobs, and Jones. Solid running back room for the playoffs. The injuries, that's the concern. As you said, the injuries. Sam, Rashad White is a great play at this point, almost week in, week out. Tampa Bay plays the Falcons. Not a great matchup, but overall, I actually like Eckler this week more, but rest of season, Rashad White. Rest of season, White, Eckler for this week. Hunter Edwards, what's good? Hope you're having a great day, Hunter. Tony, down 15, and I have Ingram and Jags kicker. What do you think the guy I play has no one playing? I think you have a chance. I think you have a chance to get that dub. Kyle, how many points do you think the Jags kicker will get tonight? I think he could get you 8-9 points. Carter, 22. Calvin Ridley, over 58.5 receiving yards. I'm taking the under. I didn't bet it, but Carter, 22. I'd lean towards the under. Stuzzy, Mixon for over 3.5 receptions or 3.5 receptions or 20 receiving yards. Man, tricky. I'd probably take the receiving yards, but I don't like either one. Cholo Raider, Raptors win another title. Not this year, buddy. Not this year. They're years away from that. Years away. Up by 6 with ETN. He has Chase and McPherson. I think you win, J-Dubs. I think you win. Thoughts on Pascal Siakam? I don't think he's developed into the superstar we were hoping. Lanny, what app do you use to bet? Are the lines solid or can you adjust them for sports betting? So I use DraftKings for a lot of the bets. I find that the odds are usually pretty favorable. I used to use Bovada. I can use FanDuel. I just don't. I feel like FanDuel's odds are sometimes really crappy. So I bounce around, Lanny. I'm not overly loyal to one sports book. Mo Beasy, do you think the Bengals cover plus 10? I took it at plus 14.5. The 10 feels good. Like, I think I would rather take 10.5 and have the touchdown and field goal in my favor. But yes, I actually think they can. What about Scotty Barnes? Cholo Raider, you're naming a lot of players I like, but they have the same problem. Talented roster, not a talented enough roster. I feel like you should strip the car for its parts and rebuild. What did you learn from the Eagles yesterday? I learned what I already knew, which was they have a really bad pass defense. I think they got Shaq Leonard earlier today. They signed Shaq Leonard as a free agent. That's a massive addition. Mo Beasy, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the cowboy hat. I think the addition of Shaq Leonard is incredibly important, but my concern with the Eagles is their secondary. They are getting torched in the passing defense, and I think the Cowboys are going to do the same to them this week. So until the Eagles show a better pass defense, I'd be worried if I were a Eagles fan. It's not their offense I'm worried about. It's not their run game, their O-line, their special teams. The only issue I have with the Eagles right now is they couldn't stop a nosebleed if they had an entire roll of bounty. That pass defense just isn't good enough. Browning over passing yards. I'm not going to take that. I took it on passing touchdowns. 12 toes down. I took over half a touchdown pass for Browning, but I'm not going to take the passing yards. I don't trust it enough. I know it's a favorable matchup. That's the concern. I like that, but I don't like him enough. Sam, down 150. Sam, down 150. Damn, I don't think anything is going to help you tonight. Stuzzy, I do like ETN for a rushing touchdown tonight. Here's what I'd say, Stuzzy, make sure it's an anytime touchdown. I wouldn't take a rushing touchdown because it could easily be a receiving touchdown. I would just take an anytime touchdown. Diego says Shaq Leonard is washed. Whoa! I think Shaq Leonard has some value there, actually. I think Shaq Leonard was worth the sign. I'll put it that way. If any of you guys want to join the show, now's your chance. I'm up 10. I have Chase. My opponent has Ridley. I think you get the dub. I think you get the dub. Stuzzy, you're good. Stuzzy, you're okay. You're good. Sarah, pick 2 for week 14. Great question. I'd go Mostert and Achan. Appreciate the question. Thanks so much. Luis Salazar, do I have a chance? Down 22, but I have ETN. You don't have a chance. I don't like it. I don't like it. Who you got, Heat or Raptors? I'd have to double check it, Cholo. I'd have to double check it. How do you bet on an anytime touchdown? Devin Ford, if you go to DraftKings, you can bet on a player to score an anytime touchdown. Craig, can Mixon get 15 points tonight? I don't think so. I think it's very, very hard for him to. Evan, thoughts on Florida State getting left out? I thought it was the right decision. Did they get screwed? Yes, they absolutely got screwed. And guess what? It's what was supposed to happen. They are not one of the 4 best teams in college football. And after watching them against Louisville, I feel even more convinced of that. They showed nothing in that ACC championship for me to believe that if I put them in the Final Four, that they would create a good, compelling game. I actually think the committee sent a statement by making Georgia the number 5 team. I think what they're really telling you is, I think they should have put, let me take that back. I think they should have made Georgia the number 5 team because I think Georgia really is the 5th best team. I think Florida State, the moment that quarterback went down, wasn't about it. I don't think they're talented enough on offense. Diego is beast. I love Jason Tatum tonight. I'm with you, buddy. I think Jason Tatum goes off tonight. Carter 22. I don't love the idea, but it's possible. What's up? Chris, I like it. I took Tatum over 29.5. Here's my problem. It's now up to 31.5 where you see it. Feels a little bit too high all of a sudden. It's starting to climb. But I think he gets to 30 points. 31, 32. Yeah, a little nervous. 12 toes down. I'd go Kirk. 12 toes down. I'd go Kirk. Sarah, Green Bay, Houston, Ravens. I got to go with the Houston Texans. Have you seen that Jets offense? Did you see them this weekend? I'm going Houston Texans, Sarah. Houston Texans defense. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. If any of you guys want to join the show as a guest, feel free. Jason, I'm up 56. He has Chase, Kirk, and Ingram. I think you're okay. I think you're okay. Chris, he's my hometown team. No Porzingis. I like White over and Tatum. So I like White. Do I like him on over points? I like Horford over points. I like Tatum over points. I like Derek White over like half a block. Will Mixon go under? Yes, I think so. Mason, what should I do if I have Achan and Hill? Same thing with White and Evans. I wouldn't be too concerned, actually. They're performing well, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Do I love the stack? No, I don't love the stack, but I think it's okay. Final few minutes of the show, everybody. Chris, let's go. Everybody, hope you're having a wonderful night. Again, if you guys want every bet that I make every day, every bet for free, every bet I make is always free for you guys, never behind a paywall. All you have to do is DM me on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. The name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram right now. I'll send you a link and a referral code so you can follow or fade every bet that I make every day. It's up to you, but at least you're seeing what bets I like. And every bet I make is based on data, trends, analytics. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're with us every day. And if you do want my bets every day, DM me on Instagram right now, guys. DM me on Instagram. That way you can play my bets for tonight, for NFL Sunday. I have already started putting bets in for NFL Week 14, taking advantage of some of those early lines and early betting opportunities. Really appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Had a lot of fun with you guys over the course of today's show. We had guests on. We gave out some picks. We obviously answered a lot of fantasy questions. It's just so wonderful being with you guys every day. Hope you guys love the content. Hope you guys enjoy the show. If you do, hit that follow button. We will be live later tonight for a subscriber-only show. We will be live at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So if you love the content, if you love the conversation, if you want more Butt Fumble Sports, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you join us later tonight for a subscriber-only show. And make sure you guys join us at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, for another full edition of the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. I hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you stay safe. I hope you have a wonderful night. Enjoy Monday Night Football, everybody. I'll see you guys later tonight for subscriber-only show on TikTok, and tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on TikTok, Kick, Twitch, YouTube. We are going to be live on all those platforms. See you guys then tomorrow at 5 p.m. Until then, goodbye, everybody.